Today's episode is in partnership with California Love K-Pop Dreaming. How did K-pop transcend continents to become the global sensation it is today? Host Vivian Yoon shares the history of how the genre came to dominate the charts and explores her own story of what it means to be a Korean American today. Listen to California Love K-Pop Dreaming from LAS Studios wherever you listen to podcasts.
Thank you, Ashley, and hello. Welcome back to Idol Talk, where we explore South Korean pop culture one obsession at a time. My name is Nathan, and I'm your host.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, and today, 6:28 SM, 15 hours ago, so maybe this was yesterday, I don't know, in Korea, they announced 2 new members for NCT Japan, and their names are Yushi and Sion.
So it continues.
Yeah.
Look back 2 episodes if you want to hear the full lowdown of it. We covered it 2 episodes ago.
Yeah. This is my theory. I think that they used Sungchan and Shotaro to make NCT Japan famous, and now that they're famous, they're moving them to another group to help gain popularity for that new random non-NCT boy group.
I don't know if that works, but we'll see.
I don't know. I'm pissed about it, but whatever. Okay, moving on.
Okay, moving on. We have a special guest. Not only is SHINee, but also Kaycee's back as a result. So Kaycee, did you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Kaycee. For our new listeners, I am one of the original members of Idol Talk. I did leave the show last year. Yes, but I think it was a good move because Gabe is such a great addition to the pod as a series regular, and I don't regret the benefit to the pod that resulted of my move. But I, as always, come back when some ult of mine comes back. I came back when Taemin got released, and then I came back. Like he's like out of prison, but I'm kind of lucky. And then of course SHINee's back, so I'm back, and with another crazy life update for our OG listeners who care about my life. I am pregnant with a baby wall.
Baby wall.
Yes, this baby was conceived after Taemin got out of the military. We met up. We're stronger than ever, and then it's gonna be born hopefully around Minho's birthday.
Goodness gracious.
Just
actually
the actual due date they gave me was December 18th, and I was like, oh, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna try to expel it a little bit earlier.
So you hit the birthday.
Yes, I'm aiming for the birthday.
All right, we're so happy to have Kaycee back, and if you already didn't know, we're doing a special dedication episode because I will say that a billion times to take advantage because this doesn't always happen. I'm really excited. They're coming back with a lot of stuff, and we're just going to round up some of their early comeback activities. And it started, well, technically their first release back in June. Earlier in June was not technically a pre-release or a comeback, but they framed it as a 15th anniversary release. Mm-hmm. And they released a song called The Feeling. It is also on their 8th full-length album, which we will soon talk about. But The Feeling was released as a song dedicated, or as kind of like a homage to the precious people or the fans that were with them in the past, are with them in the future, and also will be, or are here in the present, and also will be with them in the future. So it's a very Shawl-centered song. They're really dedicating this to people that have really been there before, that have families now, people that are currently still really invested in their activities, and then also hopefully people that will soon be with them who hear about them later on in their K-pop journey. Right. So the song is, everything that SHINee releases to me is incredibly emotional, and this one, that's just what they're there to me. But this one in particular, especially because this was a 15th anniversary, like where was I 15 years ago? Like I was in junior high when they debuted. Prepubescent. I don't understand. Like
Yeah, I was in the
crazy.
Philippines. I was a teenager.
Right.
Oh
Yes.
God.
Right. So they've had a really illustrious career since. The song itself also conveys, I think, a lot of messaging that is really applicable to their journey as a K-pop group. We know that they've been through a lot. Um, Member changes, life changes, a lot of different things. So this song, apart from it being dedicated to the fans, is really trying to convey like an emotional message that centers like a desire for freedom from burden and an eventual pursuit for heartfelt emotion, right? So at one point or throughout the song, they'll say, I want to feel it, I want to feel it again.
Mhm.
Right. I
Mhm.
can't help but link everything that SHINee does back to Jonghyun, to be quite
Oh no,
honest.
same.
So, I mean, I think that that's normal and natural. So, I
Yeah.
think that they're really trying to celebrate his life at the same time, celebrating SHINee's life, and then also to celebrate the fans. But also at the same time, like really try to paint it in a celebratory, positively emotional feel. The song,
Yes.
it's, yeah, I don't know. Like the song itself, while it conveys like a pretty, in my opinion, deep message, is really beautiful, light, and fresh.
Mhm.
Perfect for June.
Mhm.
So I was super hyped when this song came out. And this was the first song that came out since Taemin got back from the military as a full group. So I was super excited. I think this song went on my repeats right away.
Yes.
Super consumable, and I really enjoyed it. What did you all think about the song here?
No, I agree with you. Everything they release makes me emotional. My note says the music video made me cry. I have no explanation, just
I
feels.
know.
Yeah,
Like it's not sad, but I'm
It's not
crying.
sad. It's not sad at all.
yeah, you're just so happy that they're back
Yeah,
and that
I
they're
am
releasing
happy.
music.
I
Yeah.
think it's because they have that tone of like no matter what they've been through and they've had this like illustrious long career. If you look at other groups of their generation, they've
Yeah.
got longevity and they've got staying power. They
Mm-hmm.
continue to have relevancy despite everything that they've been through as a group. But the tone of the song is so uplifting. It's
Right.
so forward facing and like hopeful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I use the word youthful for them being in their like 30s.
30s. Well, actually, didn't as of also today, the Korean age system changed. So they all
Oh,
got a year
thank
back.
God.
Oh, that's great. Oh, great.
Yeah.
I barely remembered the old way, but thanks
I
for
Yeah,
the
they changed it
never
up.
update.
learned the old way and it was always confusing and now I'm glad it's gone.
No, sorry, sidetrack, Kaycee.
Well,
Go ahead.
well, Taemin and I are the same age. We're a month apart, so I just knew like as
Now
long
you
as
are truly the same age.
now
Like,
we're truly the same age,
right.
yes. But yeah, like we're in our 30s. They
Hmm.
it's just crazy. I said that how we always have like, oh, this is spring bop, this is summer bop. This is a spring to summer transitory bop.
Oh, yes. Yes. I 100% agree with you. It's not like beach vibes, but it's trying to
No,
get us there.
yeah, but it's not a true spring bop either.
Correct. Yeah.
No, it definitely is way more like dancey than than a
Mm-hmm.
spring bop. Like it's more like party, but it's still
Yeah.
uplifting like spring.
Right.
And the
Yes.
colors are it's like mostly white because they have the sky like
Yeah.
really white and then they have the confetti. So it's still spring colors, but they're like dancing around as though they're at a summer party.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
there's
fun.
not as many flowers as feel my rhythm, so it can't be spring.
Can't be
Yeah.
I'm
spring.
just trying to push us out of that.
Yeah, that big trash bag filled with confetti that was floating in the sky in the music video. I was like, at first I was like, is this like talking about our littering
I know.
problem in
Does
the
it have an environmental
yeah, is the message
message?
here environmental? And then like it burst with all the confetti, and I was like, they could have done that better. I think instead of shoving it into a clear plastic bag in the sky, it could have been like a little bit more symbolic, because
Right,
I thought we were going in an environmental protection direction. But
right.
yeah, that was my only critique. However, styling wise, I really liked it. I think at first I thought they were in skirts, Taemin and I think it was Minho,
Yeah, I feel like they
but I
were.
think it was a score. I think it was just like a very pleated, flared shorts. I
Oh,
couldn't really tell. So someone correct me if I'm wrong, but
Yeah, it looks like a skirt.
right? I like it though.
yeah,
Yeah.
I've been saying there's a hole of androgyny
right,
that
right,
Taemin left in the industry. And
right.
I'm happy to see that he's back and he's like, all right, let's get it.
Let's do it. Put something on
Mhm.
me, and
Yes.
I'll kill it. There's also I really liked also in the music video that they were just having fun.
Hmm.
Um, like playing ping pong, but not playing ping pong, like kids, like just
Yeah.
hitting the ball at each other. I thought that was really fun. And I thought this was a really great start to their series of comeback activities. Apart
Hmm.
from the feeling, they also released as part of their huge, June activities list, a full album, and Kaycee's going to overview their latest title track and their latest album.
So, taking a hard pivot from the feelings that you get from the feeling, we're going to get into the title track, Hard. And I know that these types of like title tracks and releases can be a little bit contentious in
Mhm.
the community, but I will say I really liked it. So this is their eighth studio album. They have been making music for a long time. SHINee as a concept of a group doesn't really have a niche
Mm.
that you can really pigeonhole them into. They kind of do it all. And if you think about early SHINee, the cringe rap is part of their whole vibe.
They've done it.
Not that yeah, they've
Yeah.
done it. So not that I'm saying that Hard has cringe rap, but I'm saying people who say that it's not SHINee, I think, need to refamiliarize themselves with who SHINee is. They do it all. Piano riff intro of Hard, I think it's kind of similar to the way I felt when Feel My Rhythm came out with the violin, where it's like a
Mm.
very unexpected um instrument I'm not, prepared to hear in a song. I really like that in the stages, Taemin starts that piano riff to get
Like he's actually playing. Yeah.
he's actually playing, and it's like the talent. Um, the spoken word hook of the song is extremely fourth generation boy group
Yeah, it
SM.
is. It really is.
And it just shows that SHINee can do it. Like I'm not gonna okay, I was gonna say they're ancient and they're still able to carry with current
They're
trends.
veterans.
They're veterans, yes, that's a more appropriate one. I just have three notes on the music video and then I'll open up the floor. I love the Sailor Moon transformation-esque animation that they were
Mm.
doing. They kind of, it was like a white fill of their silhouette, and I was like, why
Mm.
are they having a Sailor Moon transformation right now? Love the Taemin blonde hair and extensions. The extensions were like scraggly and ratty looking, and I really liked it. It made him look very like grungy and like sweaty a little. I liked it. And then my critique, which isn't really a critique, more like an unfortunate consequence. I'm sad that the ending shot was just three. And I
Mm.
know that it's not anyone's fault because they had like filmed half of it And then Onyu
Yeah.
had to like step away for his health.
Oh.
But I still wish they had just chosen something else with the 4.
That makes total I agree with you on that one. Like they shouldn't have ended with the scene. They should have ended with the scenes that they filmed together. Like one of the scenes that they filmed together.
Yeah. I mean, obviously it's not something that they planned preemptively, but
Correct.
surely there was something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can
No,
we
I agree.
just address that? Can we talk about Onu's health?
Yeah,
Because
we
that
could
was
talk
like,
about what we know, which is
yeah,
not much, quite frankly.
yeah.
We
What
know
do we
nothing.
what has been announced really? Because it watching the music video, it was I mean, I have thoughts about like the artistry, the music video, whatever, but like what was very apparent was how thin he is.
Right. And
Like
you know,
it's
this is
kind of
something that
uncomfortably thin
right, this is something that
too.
people are talking about, and of course people notice. Like you'd be living
Mm-hmm.
under a rock if you didn't notice anything was different. Um what was released up so I don't know, Kaycee, feel free to jump into what was released from SM or from official communications was that he is going through health issues and that he decided that it would be best to step away even during this time that
From
he wanted to be
Mm-hmm.
there
from promotions, from the concert,
from the whole concert,
yeah, from everything.
right.
And
So
you can't help but feel concerned. Like
right. It's this
SHINee
it's
has,
yeah.
yeah, SHINee has gone from boys. They were boys when they started. And you know, when you're, a teenager, you're thin. SHINee has gone through a lot of dieting because there's a diet culture that comes with comebacks for idols. Throughout that, Onu's always kind of maintained a
Mhm.
certain like level and also like a look to his face that we've all kind of been accustomed to. So when I did start to notice the difference, I was a little alarmed.
Right.
And people are speculating different things, and we're not saying what I don't know. I don't want to like
We're not
say
medical
like
doctors. Yeah.
definitively, yeah, we are not going to diagnose this man. Like we can't say anything. People are saying, oh, it's just from yoga. I don't know
Uh,
that yoga can do that. People are saying he got the trendy buccal fat removal from the cheeks that Western celebrities are doing. We don't know. Someone, I mean, I don't want to say, I'm not going to say the worst, but
like
the
very
lead,
bad health issues people are
yes,
also discussing, right? And we don't know.
we don't know
um
anything. And I think that makes it worse because it opens the floor for all this speculation, right?
right. Yeah.
But
So
it's also
it could
like,
be the
what are
case
we
that
entitled
Onu's
to?
yeah, it could be the case that Onu's
Yeah.
not ready to let the public know like what he's going through.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's safe to say that it is something concerning and something serious enough to keep him away because I mean, I just feel terrible because I know he wants to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he
I mean,
wants to be there bad. Like,
we've seen idols who have injury and they'll like sit somewhere on the stage and still like perform, or
right.
they'll still do like minor, really
Yeah.
easy promotions. So the fact that there are 4 again and he can't participate is a little scary, but I'm glad that they recognize that he needed to
Mm-hmm.
step away
Mhm.
and that he's taking this time for his health.
Right.
And I hope that he's okay.
Yeah.
And I send him
Yes.
my best wishes.
Yes. Yes.
Fighting.
Yes.
Fighting.
With that in mind, it kind of made me think, right? It's like, okay, SHINee is 5, but they are down to 3 physical members on the stage during this
Right?
comeback. And they're still holding down the fort here.
They are. They are.
And I think it just also like I think Jungin is looking down and being like, those are my boys and they could take it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they could do it. I mean, they're all aces in terms of dance, rap, and singing. Um,
It
I
shows their
guess
skill.
shows their skill. I think if we can discuss a little bit of the elephant in the room with the song, right? About how somewhat polarizing it is. I think that it is polarizing. I think that a lot of boy groups, even groups like SHINee, are pressured to stay with trends in the current K-pop generation, which is, this is what boy groups do. Even outside of SM, this is the type of release that you would hear. So I think it's actually more of a risk not to do something like this. So for me, actually, when I heard Hard, I was like, oh, it's definitely going to be like a hard-hitting release. And when you see the concept photos, you're like, oh yeah, they're gonna go a little wild in. They probably went one standard deviation apart from Don't Call Me, which, like Kaycee said, like if you dig really deep into the discography, fits in, but also is, you know, maybe not the majority of something that they've done, right? To me, this sounded just like a continuation of Don't Call Me, like with the piano, with a little bit more hard-hitting rap, a little bit less vocal, right? And I accept that if you're not one of the outlier groups, BTS, Blackpink, right, that have a huge swath of fans like outside of Korea that are going to carry you, like you really have to work hard to stay in, like even harder to stay in. And like 15 years later, right? So I get it. Is it my favorite? Probably not.
No.
Like,
no.
I am.
That.
Is it my favorite? Yeah, no, right? I'll be honest. But that's just like K-pop Generation 2 doesn't look the same thing as K-pop Generation 4, 5. Right?
What do you say to the people who would argue that with SHINee's career, they don't need to pander to current trends?
That's a great point.
And so shouldn't be doing this type of song.
That's a great question.
Right?
Yeah, that's a great question. I say that if they want, that's a good question. Kaycee got these dumped here. But, you know, what I would say is I would just redirect them back to The Feeling, because that's also
that should have been the title track.
Well, that's just what I see as that part of SHINee that is really, really consistent. Like that for me is even though there's not one genre that boxes them in, I feel like that is the type of music that really defines them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Like when I think of SHINee, I think of like EDM dance track. I think of not replay. I think of
View.
Right. View. I was like doing the choreo.
You do the
You're like
we don't sing the lyrics to remember. We do the choreo.
Well, now that we have video, like they could see Ashley doing choreo.
Yeah. So I think of you, and I think of The Feeling, and when you know, as you guys were talking, I feel like I should have expected Hard more than I did, because this is what SM does, you know, like they release a good, like either an A side or a B side that is good, and then another one that's polarizing. So I should have expected it. I don't know why I was so shocked. Like this song is
you better get ready, because Dream is coming probably with the polarizing, and EXO is probably coming back with the polarizing.
Turn on the garbage disposal. I'm ready.
Yeah, but this song, I mean, I understand that they're trying to like hop on the trend and do what other fourth generation groups are doing, whatever. But overall, I think this song is not good. Bad.
Okay.
No, we welcome that opinion. We welcome that opinion.
I'm not saying she can't share her opinion. I'm just saying.
I think that it's different.
Could have stopped at the second bad.
True. I think that it's different. But again, I think that to the people that, you know, well, you know, a fourth generation person is probably not all that surprised about. Like, probably not all that surprised about this.
This is probably what the sound they're expecting.
Yeah, it's probably the song that they're expecting. We're seeing a very different pattern going on in the girl groups where they're resisting some of the boy group trends, and kind of releasing whatever. But I mean, as a boy group, they're kind of doing what everyone else is doing.
Mhm.
I would say that I would very, very much have more liked more if they just went for the SHINee sound. But again, I understand.
If it
Yeah.
wasn't SHINee, like if you didn't know and you also didn't have an ear for their vocals to pick it out, would you like the song more?
Well, no, I would probably like the song less.
Yes.
If
Yeah,
it
Right.
was
you're
like
giving
So
them the
released by like
benefit of the doubt.
NCT.
yeah, I would probably
Yeah.
like the song less.
Okay,
But that's a great
that's
that's an
fair.
interesting point. But that's also not how K-pop works in realistic terms, because you get attached to groups and you
Yeah,
follow
yeah.
them for what they do. That is what is special about K-pop, is that we get to know them as people and we support them as people,
Hmm.
right? So I don't know if you also look at the rest of the album, there's a lot more there's a lot more fullness to it. There's a lot
Yes.
more it's a lot more comprehensive look at what they
Yes.
can
Mhm.
do, right? So I don't know,
They
Ashley,
really
what
hit their stride.
right, right. What songs did you like from the rest of the album, Ashley?
Yeah. So I obviously listened to the whole album because I was like, there has to be something better than this. And I mean, I like the feeling, obviously, and I what I really like is the second half of the album,
The
like
second half was
sticks
really solid.
on.
Yeah.
I was
Mhm.
surprised that they didn't have like a ballad.
Yes. It's
I was
probably coming in some kind of repackage, I would
Yeah,
think.
I was looking forward to that, but they didn't have it. I mean, they had slower songs, but not like a true
Right.
like ballad. From the first half of the album, I really like the song Juice. Like there's a line in there. What is the line that it's like,
That's pretty much their B-side.
is
I
it?
would, yeah. I saw some like live performances of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
So
really
that
like
one is
the lyric where they're like, I think you like me. I think you like me.
it's
I
catchy.
think
That
that's
part's
fun.
catchy. So do you think they should have let in with that one?
I feel like this song is more palatable than Hard.
Hard. But you know why it's named Hard, right? I mean, like
No.
it's supposed to be like a reference to like a hard eight. Like I feel like that's
What's a
What
hard eight?
vernacular in
cool?
okay, cool. Yeah.
I,
Yes, that's what I
mm.
read.
Oh, that would make sense because the little eight in the because it's their eighth studio
Yeah, it's like,
album. It's
oh,
like
you
a
hit a hard
play.
eight or something. I don't.
Okay.
But what does that
I think
mean?
I read somewhere that SM wanted Juice to be the title track
Mhm.
and the members wanted Hard,
I
but
also
that's
saw that.
unverified.
Oh, it's not pool. It's from dice. So
Oh,
a dice roll in the game of craps where both dice land on a 4. So it's like
okay.
it's that
That
reference.
is
Anyways,
okay.
I don't know
important
anything
to know.
about craps.
I don't either, but that's what it kind of referred to. But I also heard the same thing, Kaycee, that actually they fought really hard to have Hard as the title track, which is really interesting to me.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a bad song. I just think that, oh, that's interesting because they have so many other good songs on the album.
Yes, it's a
Mm-hmm.
very strong album.
Yeah.
I like all the tracks. I wouldn't say that I have a definitive ranking, but I will share my top three. And it's The Feeling,
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Misery,
Mm.
and Gravity. And
Mm.
Gravity is more sentimental because it's clearly a Jonghyun tribute. There's a lot of lyric references to him. So, me, gonna cry myself to sleep.
The Feeling also had an explicit Junghyun reference where they listed all the members at the beginning and then they wrote and dot dot dot. So I was like, okay, this is
When they're
Kate.
running in the music video, there's also like a space that they leave.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was intentional, but
it's chock full of them. And you know
read
what?
into it.
If I'm reading into it, then so be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would not have noticed that. Like the dot 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 space for him.
Yeah. No, this was like a dot 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 like in the captions.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I see.
yeah. Ashley, which other so do you like Juice? Did you like any other ones?
Yeah, I love the feeling. And I also like Sweet Misery and Gravity.
Oh, interesting. Y'all went for the slower
Oh,
ones.
when
Yeah.
very rare for us to agree.
Yeah,
I was
I
gonna
mean,
say that.
the feeling is my number one. And
Correct.
then I would say Juice number two, because it's just like fun. And then the slower ones are better. The faster ones, I don't know.
Well, it's interesting because I really liked okay, The Feeling is also my number one song on the album, like easily. But I really like Satellite and Identity also, which
Satellite is
are
very good.
yeah, Satellite was really good, Identity was really good. And then yes, of course, Sweet Misery was really, really sweet also. So
Yes.
like overall, when you look at this as an entire album, I think it's very, very good. Like very solid. Um, I think I enjoyed this album more fully, like relative to Don't Call Me, but I also really like Don't Call Me, and SHINee is the group, the K-pop group of my life, so I will
Yeah,
not have
maybe
much negative things to say about them.
we're a little biased.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, what Kaycee, can you give us a lowdown on other things that they've been doing besides the album or to promote their album?
Yes, I mean, they're doing a shit ton of stuff as you do when you're coming back, especially a comeback of this type of group
Magnitude, yeah.
magnitude. I will say I did see some complaints that SM is not having them do as much, but I honestly want us to be realistic. They are down a member.
Yeah.
They're 3. So I think this
And
is
they
an
got their big
appropriate.
stadium for the fan meet and the concert. So
Yes. So I want to talk about 2 things that they've done for as comeback activities. First off is this concert, SHINee World 6. Perfect Illumination. What a beautiful name. Can I just say? Perfect Illumination. And
Perfect title.
they indeed were perfect. So this was at the I don't know how to KSPO Dome.
Yeah.
I don't know. June, I was gonna say January, June 25th. So literally just a few days ago. I'm gonna read off the set list. They open with Chemistry, very, very a choice I did not expect. Then they had Dream Girl, Heart Attack, Like It, Atlantis, Sweet Misery, Code, Good Evening, Juliet, Why So Serious, Sherlock, Don't Call Me, Body Rhythm, Juice, Identity, Everybody, View, The Feeling, Married to the Music, Replay, Love Like Oxygen, Aside, Lucifer, Kind, Celine, An Ode to You, An Encore, Hard, Hitchhiking, Runaway, and they close with The Feeling. I have a few notes. It's a huge set list.
That is a huge set list.
How many songs was that total?
Down a member.
I
was like,
I don't have
like 20 plus.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's a lot. They are 3 at this concert. Most of these songs have high energy choreo.
Yeah.
And half of these songs have vocals of 5 members. So I'm gonna say I was extremely impressed by all of their stamina. I'm impressed by their vocal range because they took turns covering Onyu and Jonghyun's parts, which is extremely difficult. Onyu is like the vocal powerhouse of SM. I would argue the industry.
Of the industry, yeah.
And Jonghyun's vocals are no easy feat to cover as well. They had Minho doing some of his vocals, and I was like,
I saw.
Minho can't
but he can. It works.
He can.
He's working hard. He's working hard.
He is. he's working so hard, and
Minho
I just want
is literally
to,
working so hard.
I will
Like,
give him his flowers because he really delivered. Um, I briefly became a Minho bias. There were three distinct moments for me that really had me like forgetting that Taemin was there, which is hard. That's hard to do. First off, body rhythm. They're coming out, they're walking to the song, right? And then Key does like a body roll, and you think, oh, like, oh yeah, Key body
okay, we're
roll,
getting into
whatever.
it here. Yeah.
Minho's in this like camo jacket. He's all covered up. And then he takes off the camo jacket, revealing a crop top with a harness. And
Yeah.
he's so buff. He's so buff, you guys. He put the I wrote this though. Minho put the body in body rhythm.
He did. He does bring it.
He brought it. And like there's like a lot of like hip shaking, and I'm just like mesmerized the whole time. There's another moment in the concert where Taemin like stands behind Minho, and he's like pulling Minho's shirt up to reveal his like abs and up to his chest. And the whole time, Minho's like flexing. He's like doing like bodybuilder poses.
I love that.
And I'm just so stressed out because it's like, did someone oil his biceps? Because why are they so shiny? Is he just sweaty? Perfect illumination.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
the last item that made me a Minho bias was he's doing Jonghyun's parts.
Yeah.
And he's like looking up at the sky, or he'll be like waving up at the sky.
Oh.
And you're just like,
an emotionally available man.
Why is he the most perfect man?
That's really sweet.
I know. Oh God.
He was by far the most emotional on the stage. Like, no crying that I saw, but like in reference to what Kaycee's talking about, he does Junghyun's part in View, and he's just like looking up to the sky and just saying, I could only imagine what's going. Emotional. I don't know what's going through his head. It's something so special.
Mm-hmm. And like the look on his face was like, I don't know, like death is something that's difficult to overcome. Grief comes in waves.
Mm-hmm.
And especially a death that's so traumatizing like this. But the look on his face was so peaceful and like so fond, you know, that you're just like, wow, he's really like made peace with it. Like he's clearly gone to therapy. He's healthy. He's happy. It was amazing. I fell in love.
That.
Celebration of life. Celebration of life.
Yes, it truly felt like that. There's so many moments where they pay tribute in small ways, and you feel the sadness, you feel the melancholy, but not here.
Yeah.
It was very inspiring to see.
Something that I also noticed from the concert is, this is now apart from the set list, apart from the stages, because we already know those were amazing. Something that I also saw on social media were that the Showels brought their lyrics, and in between the breaks or before the concert, they were just straight out singing songs, like in unison with one another.
I want to be there.
They're so powerful.
Like
Korean fans are so organized.
Controlled,
they're organized. Yeah, the fan
behaved,
disciplined,
very disciplined. They literally got respectful, their lyrics out, and they're just like singing like a choir. I was like, I want to be there.
I want to be there too. It did sound like a choir, right?
It was
like
a choir.
You could hear them during the performances. They are the background vocals. It was Showels and SHINee on stage together.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they made a bigger effort to try to carry for the members that weren't there.
I'm sure.
So
the whole time I was watching, I was like, how the fuck do I be there?
Yeah. Well,
that's awesome.
I know. It's like, you know how like people have like religious experiences in church and they're like ascending and shit. I feel like I would have that if I was
In the
at
dome.
one of their in the dome with that audience.
Yeah, with that audience in particular.
Take me to there. My last note on the concert was something I really liked that they did was that they had some dancer and band stages rather than like VCRs. And I think it really kept the energy up. And you know, like sometimes when you're at a concert, there's like a lull because you're like, oh, it's just a VCR.
Were they playing during the breaks?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's new.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty revolutionary.
That's cool that they had a live band because that doesn't happen often either.
Right. It's
I'm
not
very
always
impressed.
the case. Yeah.
For it being a comeback concert, I was like, were you guys like, when did you train? When did you practice compensating for losing a member in the choreo?
Yeah, Kaycee, while you were mentioning the set list, they also did a lot of songs from Don't Call Me and the new album, which in all fairness and honesty, they are less familiar with.
Yes.
Which means that they had to practice a lot. Like, I'm pretty sure they could do Everybody in their sleep. I'm pretty sure they could do Replay in their sleep. But they probably can't do like a Chemistry in their sleep, or they can't do not Chemistry. What are some of the others? Even Body Rhythm. They probably had to practice that one. Because it's not like
a lot of it turned out to just be like gyrating. So how hard No, but you're right. They did do a lot of songs off of their most recent albums. And that's what I'm saying is like, when did you train for this?
Yeah.
And also having to adjust to being down on you.
Yeah.
How did
unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly. Like how it just speaks to their professionalism.
Yeah. I mean, Mark has said that when he hears music, his body just moves. Like his body knows the choreo and he just does it. So they're probably at that level, you know.
Of course,
just like
yeah.
They learn it fast.
Yeah.
I mean, they are professionals, right?
Minho's so buff.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but wow. Also, shout out to Taemin's waist. It came back.
It came back real fast.
It's like he's out there showing his little tummy. I was like, oh, this is what I missed.
I think he was showing a little tummy too.
Bra. He did have a little bit of sliver of a tummy, and then at one point he was like teasing the audience, like he was gonna lift up his shirt to show his abs, but he lifted it up like a millimeter. Meanwhile, he's pulling Minho's shirt up all the way to his chest.
And he's touching his bicep like this.
Yeah, he was touching. Yeah, well, they were all touching. They were both touching his bicep. I would be touching his bicep. His biceps are huge. He's so buff. I know. He's like he's not like crazy Wonho buff. He's like a good level buff.
Wonho is too much. Yes. 1BBs come for me.
Yes, it's too much. I agree with that.
It is a little much. Their second comeback activity that I really liked was their road trip. So it's called SHINee's 15M Road Trip Comeback Show, JTBC. And it was today, the 28th, or I guess yesterday.
Is it going to be in a series, Kaycee?
No, I think it was like a one-off.
Oh, it's a one-off, okay.
Yeah, so the three of them pack into a little camper and they head out on a little road trip. And it's like a literal and figurative memory lane. It's funny because Taemin packed like a big suitcase and Key packed like a little briefcase, and he was like, I'm not going to need a lot. And then they get there and Taemin's like trying to get them to help him like pull it into the camper, and Key is like so visibly annoyed that he brought like a full suitcase. And the camper is small.
It's like a little RV or something?
Yeah, it's like a little camper car.
Airstream?
Kind of. Yeah. Like roughly that size.
I would have thought that it would be swapped, like he was going to bring a lot of stuff and Taemin wasn't.
No, it was just like a cute little briefcase. And I thought it was so sweet. They open the door and they have 2 dolls of Jonghyun and Onyu.
Wow.
Coming with them. I was like, that's so cute. So they start the road trip. They're just driving. They come to the SHINee room and it's like decked out in tribute of their career. They have a ton of old merch, like some merch I've never even seen before.
Wow.
Like like a hat that you pull down and it's one of their faces over your face.
Like a ski
Terrifying
mask?
nightmare. It's like a mesh like cover over
Ew.
your face that is one of their faces. It's fucking nightmare fuel. And they have like screenshots of old correspondence that they've had with fans, and you could tell they still had these same personalities back then as they do now. They had all their old albums. It was so nostalgic and so like sweet to see. I don't know who decorated that room, but they're a true showl. Um, I also watched videos of their old performances.
Right.
And then they did actual live performances. So they had a Sherlock stage with a live band, which I didn't know I needed until now.
Love that.
And then Taemin's End of Day piano cover by the sea just fucked me up. It's he had done a cover before. He'd post on Instagram, I think.
Yeah, but that was like in his
But
home.
that was just him, right?
Wait, what is this show? So they're going to different locations and then they perform different songs?
Yeah, they just went to like 2 locations, I think. So it was like
It's like they're
this.
hanging out, reminiscing, but they're also mixing it in with like performances that they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
the first location is like a building where they have like a SHINee room. Then they go to this like seaside. It's got like a forest also. Sorry, I'm not familiar with like the terrain of South Korea, but I was
It's okay,
surprised.
Kaycee. I'm sure the listeners will forgive you for that one.
Forgive me. But that's where Taemin did his End of a Day piano cover, and like the fondness on Key and Minho's faces as they're watching him do this. It's fucking my heart, dude. Like, kill me. And then they end it with some stages of Juice. They do 10 times in Suits, and then they close with Hard.
Yeah, and
It's a
I think
lot.
they're gonna do a lot more. We're just starting with the music shows this week. I think we're gonna see them on the Fun Saturday show. So we'll see some Taeyeon. I think interactions will be really fun because they have so much history. Maybe
Your
we'll see
little
them
besties.
on something else, but I think that this is a
Yeah,
June is SHINee's month.
We're brought to the current as of now with their activities. So
right, but they're
they're
really
still this
going.
is early days.
Yeah, this is going. Okay, I have one more rapid round question for all of you, and then we'll close up. We're going to end on a positive note. So, if you are going to introduce a friend who has never listened to SHINee before, what stage would you show them, or what song would you introduce them to? Who wants to go first?
I mean, I'm like a baby shower. I'm so surface level compared to you guys.
Then how did you like, what was your hook in? View. Okay.
View. And then also I really like Replay.
10 out of 10.
Kaycee, Replay
curious.
is timeless.
Yeah, Replay is timeless.
Is that
it's
fair? Is that
timeless.
Accurate to say? I mean, it's so
yeah, it is
era,
accurate to say. It's like the most iconic debut song.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like of the era, and yet it still holds to this day.
Holds. Yes.
What would I introduce? Oh, that's really hard, but I don't know. View is a good one. It's hard for me because I feel like I don't care to appeal to people's personal taste. I'm just like, this is what I think is good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll try to cheap out by being like, look at this shirtless stage that they
did. That's what you mean.
But I think I would do Good Evening.
Oh,
I really
that's
love
a good
Good
one.
Evening. This is from Good Evening. Yeah. I really love Good Evening. That's a good one.
I know that I always do that too when we get to that part in the chair dance.
Yeah, that one's really good. I think those are all great choices. Good Evening is a more contemporary hit. You got View, you got Replay. So I'll just jump in and say one of my hooks into SHINee was actually Everybody. I love
That's
that
a good
stage.
one.
It's so energetic.
It's fun.
It's fun. It was incredibly novel at that time, and it's a banger. So
the choreo is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's catchy. Can you say choreo is catchy?
Yeah, it's catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Memorable?
Memorable, very energetic, exciting, dynamic. So I'll go for that one for today. I don't know, maybe I'll change tomorrow. But also,
No, that's a
I'm a
good one.
sucker for SHINee ballads.
Yeah.
So if you look on YouTube SHINee ballads, you'll see 3-hour playlists of them. So listeners,
And
go wild.
They're all hits.
Yeah, they're all hits. So all right. Thank you to our listeners for tuning into this episode. Let us know what you thought of the SHINee comeback and the SHINee album. We are on Instagram at Idol Talk Pod. Please rate, review, and subscribe to us on all of our major podcast directories and streaming platforms. If you have any feedback or content requests, please feel free to email us at idoltalkpod@gmail.com. And then we also have our content directory, idoltalkpod.oo.ai, where among other things, like our previous episodes, we also have our summer K-pop playlist. So feel free to give that a listen. Let us know what we should add. And thank you again for listening. And until next time, we'll see you all later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, bye.
I'm Vivian Yoon. Listen to K-pop Dreaming from Elias Studios. I grew up in Koreatown in the 90s, and my friends and I could not get enough of K-pop.
Do you remember SES?
Yeah.
Yes.
Come true.
So how did the music that only Korean and Korean Americans listen to become a global cultural force? And what role did LA and Koreatown play in K-pop's rise? K-pop Dreaming. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.